Hey, it's John, LBF Customs. So today we're dealing with the Choptop. I started this last night. Uh, I'll give you a quick rundown since I didn't have the video going last night. So we have a brand new MTS plastic fuel tank for it. Um, I did have to carve out the hole to the right size for the vent. It's a new grommet vent. I cleaned this up because it was a little off-centered last night. Made sure the tank's good and clean. I have to pull the locking ring off. Got a brand new fuel pump here for it, because the other one, it isn't dead, but it's crusty. So I was afraid to pull it out. New fuel filter, we'll get after this. So I went up under, I don't know how well it'll show up. I got the two skid plate bolts there, and the skid plate bolts and the fuel tank strap bolts off last night. I actually had to grind them off. They were too rusty. So here's my panel, access panel that I made years ago to get at the fuel pump right there. Once I drop the old tank, I think I'm gonna make this opening a little larger, probably something like that, just so that I got a little more access. Since my cover panel's bigger, I can do that. So in the Bronco 2s, right across but here is the support for the back seat, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So my hole was just in front of that and centered to get to the pump. Just for future reference. So I pulled most of the bolts for the rear bumper. I got one that's giving me trouble. I'm gonna get that pulled here and get the bumper off so I can grind the rear bolts. None of the tank bolts or skid plate bolts wanted to come free, so I'm just gonna cut them free and put new bolts in. It's just gonna be faster and easier. Since the system's depressurized, I'm going to throw a new fuel filter in. It's been a few years since that's been changed. Just want to throw this together real quick here. And my intention is to be driving this again this afternoon. So I'm going to get to work. I'm going to get the new pump thrown in the new tank. And see what I can do about getting the new tank in. Hopefully there isn't too much gas in the old tank. My gas gauge hasn't worked in years in this, and my suspicion is I don't know exactly if this is an original pump or not in this truck, but the old pumps used a brass float, which tended to get a hole in them, or sometimes they'd come free, and they'd end up in the bottom of the tank, and then your fuel gauge doesn't work. I believe I fixed it once before, which is why I have the access hole, but when it failed again, I didn't bother to deal with it. So the new pump here, get this unwrapped a little bit here. The new pump assembly has a plastic float, so hopefully that will not be a problem anymore. And yeah, we'll get this in, get this together, Wonder if the truck will run better. We'll find out. Stay tuned. Alright, so we're ready to throw the pump in. I just wanted to do this real quick. So this pump's supposed to be new. It almost smells like a solvent or something. The sock's a little dirty, but I can't find any evidence that the box was tampered with. Hopefully that was just testing whenever they put this together. It smells like solvent and not gas, but I got the locking ring off. We're going to get this fitted in here. Hopefully. There we go. Alrighty. So, get the gasket on here, get this tightened back down. I'm not a huge fan of the tab locking system of these MTS tanks, to be honest. I've had some issues in the past with them sealing. Hopefully that's not a problem today. But we'll see what happens here. Get this guy all... I'm gonna have to put the camera down, but I gotta get this lined up, put the locking ring down, and then these little tabs, they're arched. They get set on here, arched down and screwed down. The instructions here say no adhesive sealant. Install screws until they start to tighten and turn 1/2 turn further. Do not over tighten. And there's a note for if you have a spare tire under, you gotta be careful because it can crush the bottom of the tank. It's not a problem, we just have a skid plate on this one, so I'll get this together, get the old tank out, and we'll get this together in the truck. I'll probably film a couple pieces here and there as we go. So, alright, so I never shot a closed video for this, so we're going to do that right now. Choptop fuel tank. It is installed. Went pretty well. New fuel pump. Truck actually runs much better. So that's a plus. Skid plate's not in it yet. And I want to build new fuel lines. So skid plate and new fuel lines will be a separate video. I just wanted to close out the fuel tank video, show that I got it in, and to let everybody know that the truck is running better with the new fuel pump. So I'm guessing the old pump was getting weak. Even though it wasn't dead, it was getting weak apparently. Yeah. So, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.